Welcome to another episode on our channel. A few episodes ago, I told you how to save money when you're collecting 1/6 scale figures. And one of the things you can do is keep your eyes on eBay. And if an item looks really good, the person has great customer service, high rating with a lot of sales, and the price stays low, keep your eyes on it. Set your clock 15 minutes before the auction ends. Keep your eyes on it. You probably before that want to kind of just put a little bid out if somebody has bid on it, just a little bit above that to see if they are truly interested in it. And that's what I did. I put just a little bit more than what they had put out there for it. And within 15 minutes, they put in another bid. So, and then like I said, I think it was 12 hours later, somebody else put a bid on it and it was going to be done in 1 or 2 more days. So I just kept my eyes on it. And when it's 6 to 7 seconds before the auction ends, that's when you throw in your bid, but you have to figure out the most you're going to pay for it. And you have to use an unusual number. So don't use $150. Use $150.05. Don't use $150.50. Do $150.55. Don't do $150.75. Do $150.80. You know, something unusual, because people tend to go for those nice numbers. I used to, and I didn't win as much. So that's what I do now. So anyway, I won this at a phenomenal price, and 2 days later I have it. So not just a phenomenal price, but the seller actually sent it the day after, the day after I won it and paid for it. And sometimes you can't say that's true for everyone who sells on eBay. Sometimes you buy it, you bid on it, you win it, you pay for it immediately. They immediately buy the shipping label, but that doesn't mean they sent it. All that means is they bought the shipping label. They could sit on that label for 2 weeks and not send it. So I tend to now start IMing them through eBay and saying or asking, I know you got the shipping label, but could you please, give me an estimated time frame as to when you're going to take it into the post office? And I just kind of do that a few days in a row, and eventually they just want to get rid of me, and they tell me when they send it out, and they'll say something to the effect of, "Oh, we just sent it out. Here's the tracking number." Da, 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 da. So anyway, I hate being a pain, but I don't like waiting. So I didn't have to wait for this. This person's going to get great rating for me. So anyway, let's see. It came in a beat up box. I do not care anymore. I mean, this box part especially. But I hope the art box isn't too bad. But again, it's not so important anymore. After you get so many boxes that are dinged up, and even directly from good companies, they're just dinged up. You just kind of go like, okay, I don't care anymore. Pretty bad, but that's where I'm at. And that's kind of why I don't want to, unless don't want to get new things. Because if you get a new thing and it's dang, you're just heartbroken under those circumstances. And I've had that happen, even from good companies. So this is Spiderman, the Tom Holland version. Okay, this over here. So this is Spiderman upgraded suit. All right, Hot Toys, obviously. Far From Home. I can see tiny things here, but it doesn't consume me like it did. Because I'm not going to show the box, to be honest. I'm going to display the figure, but not the box. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, there's that. Try to tape. I don't, other than indicating that nobody's opened it from one side or the other, just don't see the need for tape when you put it in like one of these boxes. It just, is it gonna fall out of the box without the tape on it? I don't think so. I will take the tape off and not waste your time. I'll take it off later. All right. So there we go. All right. Okay. All right. Put that over there. And again, I don't like clamshells. Foam would be great. At least this part isn't taped in. One time I was trying to pull this thing off, and I was like fighting it and fighting it. Couldn't get it open. And my husband, the husband, noticed it was taped on. So what I'll do is let me get everything out, not waste your time, and then see how this thing looks. So we'll be right back. We are back at tons of hands. So let's just start with the hands. So he has a shooting hand for the right hand. It's like that. And he has one for the left hand as well. So we have mirror images of the shooting hands. He's got hands that kind of are like one finger is higher, the next one lower, the next one is lower than that, and lower still. So it kind of looks like this. And a mirror hand on the other hand as well. Right hand, same thing. All right. Then he has a completely closed hand, which falls easily. It's a closed hand grip. Doesn't hold on to anything because it's fully closed. He doesn't have one on this side. Although it's interesting, he has two fully closed hands. Oh, you know what? These are fully closed for sure on the body. But I think this does, to a certain extent, open up. Yep. There's nothing like a little rounded section that you can see through to the other side with this closed hand. So something can go in there if you want it to, which I imagine might be wet, be my only guess. And then he has two completely closed hands on his body. He has two open hands as well. And he has, boy, these are slippery. He has a peace sign hand. I think that's kind of cool. Peace. All right. So That's going to be hard to figure out. Of course, I'm partial to either open or shooting hands. Kind of my partial opinion there. Partiality. This must be where the web somehow connects to the hand. And then you have web pieces that can be shooting out of the hands. They're surrounded in foam to protect themselves. Yeah, several pieces like that. Okay, so he has one of these things that you could put the web in for one hand and another one on the other side for the other hand. I don't know if you can really see it. You'll be able to see it better when we get close-ups. Yeah. And so not only web pieces that string out, but here's one that has kind of a circular, like I'm closing in on you, I'm gonna grab you type of thing. And then he has these things that no doubt are like wings that go on his back area. That'd be my guess. I didn't open this up because I didn't want everything to go flying, but these are the different, actually I did open it up, but I didn't want to take it out. But these are the different eyes that go to the masked head. I'm not inclined to use the masked head, so I probably obviously won't use these. He's got glasses, and I'm not inclined to use glasses either. We'll find a way to see it. All right. And then he has what looks to be like a cell phone. I think that's what that is. And then this mask thing that he can hold. He's got some sort of drone that you can find ways to attach to the very colorful stand. And you might be stuck with using the stand. You know how I feel about these colors competing with the figure, but since you have a drone, you're going to have to, put this thing on this piece to hold Spider-Man up. Wow, lots of choices here. And of course, the Tom Holland head. So remember when I said it was a low bid? Kept my eyes on that thing, and I just figured out what I was going to pay for it, and didn't bid any more than that, and I won. And it is less than half. If you consider shipping and handling, maybe between less than half or less than, getting close to a third, maybe, of what it originally cost. There's a lot here. I mean, you have to say, lots of hands. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11 hands. You've got lots of eyes. Not sunglasses, but glasses. Cell phone looks like. I think that's what that is. Don't know really. Mask. All the web. The wings. The drone. All the attachments for the drone. I mean, it's a lot here. So I got a deal from my perspective anyway. So keep your eyes on eBay. Make sure you find things that are staying low. Wait 6 to 7 seconds because someone can beat you if you stay in the 10 to 15 second range. Put in a bid, then somebody can still outbid you. 6 to 7 seconds. Don't do a usual amount. Do something really weird with the amount, and you may end up winning like I just did. And I couldn't be happier. This is a ton of stuff. I'm not going to use, I don't know, 50% of the stuff. I'm going to use the body, the Tom Holland head, and I might have to if I'm going to use the drone, I'm going to have to use the stand. Figuring out what hands to use is a big thing, and then what web to use. Hello, my little Samantha. All right, so we'll be back, and I'll figure out how to put this thing together. We are back, and I thought more about how to pose Spider-Man the Tom Holland version upgraded suit. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to pose him with the Spider-Man head. And as such, there's no need to have the eyes, different looking eyes out, that sort of thing. I'm going to have him in a dynamic pose, so I don't really want him as Peter Parker with the glasses that are in here. So I don't think I'll use that. There's some sort of cell phone or something in here. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to have him holding the mask. That just seems a little too, I don't know, boring to me. So out goes all this stuff, which is great because now I won't lose it. It stays in its container. Boom, that goes there. The Spider-Man head can go back in the box. That'll stay safe. The other thing I thought about was, do I want to use the drone? And I don't know. The drone's kind of drab for me. Now, this is no doubt very accurate to the movie, which I never saw, unfortunately, but it's drab. If it was red, which I know in some other figures it's bright red, then I would probably feel differently, but it's too drab for me. So I'm not tempted to use it. Now, if I wanted to use it, what you would do after you screw this main section in and this holder that will hold Spider-Man to it, you will take basically this cap that goes here, you'll take that off. You'll take this piece here that has a couple holes in it. And the way I would do it is I would slip the big hole over the thing here, have the little hole in the back, and I put the cap back on. Boom. Then I would put this in here, just make sure it slips in nicely. And then you may not be able to see it. I'll just drop it a little bit lower so you can see it. Then there's this piece that's very much jointed. Let me put this back up for a second. It's jointed, so you can kind of move it all around. It's jointed. This is what the drone goes on. So bringing this back into view, you would put that on top of this piece, just wiggle it on there. And then there's a little attachment here. You look for it underneath the drone, the hole it should go in. And you would just make sure it fits in. Boom. Now we're good to go. But when I move this like this, it now falls out of view because it's so tall. So the thing I would probably do is I would probably, I would probably just start bending things down. Can you see it? It's starting to come into view. And since this can rotate, then the drone can follow Spider-Man around as is appropriate, right? So, and the more you want it down, the more you can go down. You might have to come back up here, go more down here. One thing is for sure, these things are meant to bend, except here. So, let me just get this back on. This does rotate, or should rotate. Let me take that off for a second. I think it should rotate a lot more than that. Maybe not. Maybe that's as good as it gets. So then your only option then is to keep bending. Notice how much I bent it. Even then, it's still not as straight as it maybe needs to be. bring it down a little bit more. I don't know. So it's facing, yeah, facing things. Let's bring it down even more still. Now you can probably see it, right? I don't know. Not my thing. So in the end, it may look cool to a lot of you guys, but to me, it's too drab. There's a lot of bending things going on. It's not worth it to me. So I am going to take the drone off, and I'm going to take the attachment off. I'm going to straighten the wire out, take the wire out, or the second piece of the section of the stand that assists with the drone, straighten it back out. I'm going to put those things back in the box. I'm going to take the cap off. I'm going to take this attachment off because I don't need it because I'm not using the drone anymore. Okay, so no need to use it. Put it in the box, keep it safe. But I will put the cap back on because I don't want to lose the cap. And that's pretty much what I intend to use. And I kind of move this backwards a little bit because I noticed when I put Spider-Man in, it kind of leans forward, which I don't think it should do. It seems to be in there tight enough. Maybe it isn't. So maybe I can bend it back and see what happens. All right. Getting these things perfectly straight after you bend them is like an absolute pain. All right, so there we go. There's the stand. The other thing I should mention before we show you Spider-Man is that there was a hand that had it looked like it was a totally closed fist, and I couldn't at first tell what was different between this fist, closed fist, and the two closed fists he had on to begin with. And then I looked at this a bit more and noticed it has a hole running through it. It's not like it opens up and grips something, but there's a hole there. And I tried to figure out what's that for. Well, if you want to use certain types of webbing, you just stick it in one side of the hole and into the other side of the hole, and there you go. He's holding on to the webbing like this. I hope you can see it. Yeah, there you go. That's the best look, I think. Right? Best look. All right. So, yeah. So you can do that. So this piece will do that with this hand. It really doesn't work with the other hands. I mean, it doesn't work with the other hands. Let's just put it that way. There's one other piece that will work with this hand with the hole through it, and it's this piece. At first, I tried to put it into the main hand this way, and I went like, well, that's a weird way for something to be shaped. How does it come out of his hand and look like that at the end? It's really 90 degree. I don't get it. But if you take this and you slip this through the hole, now it makes a little bit more sense. He's holding on to this piece that has bent. So I hope that makes sense. There's no other way to use it. But if you try to put it in this way, with his hands like this and this sticking, it doesn't look right. I don't know. It looks like a sickle. It just doesn't look right. So anyway, so I didn't opt for that one. I really don't, I didn't want that particular. I like the web, but I don't like the shape of the hand per se. It's just too simple for me. And I'd rather have this thing going on. The other thing I did notice that if you wanted to use this, it's not hard. You just have to find the two pieces it would fit on, which are the straight ones. There is a piece, the larger piece goes into the wrist thing that's attached to the hand, and the other piece goes into this thing. And there you go. Now, the bad thing is that it loops down. It would be cool if it looped up, but looping down, I don't know, it looks weak. So I think I would go either with this or one of the smaller pieces. And the smaller pieces wouldn't loop down, but notice, it's like a Q-tip. You cannot put this thing on here. And this part won't fit into the hand. So it's very limited from my perspective. We are back, and I forgot to show you one last set of accessories. This is if you want a squirrel webbing kind of look, and he has to be posed in a certain way with his arms straight out, his stance far apart. But you would basically, there are magnets here. You would have the magnets hang in there. Right now it can't because this arm isn't down far enough. You'd do the same on the other side. And then this thing would go between his legs. So he would have a webbing, a flying ability, basically, in the end. But it would have to be a pretty static pose. I don't see myself using that. I really love this figure in and of itself. The only downside is the suit itself. I mean, it's a wonderful looking suit. But if you do anything than a museum pose, it's going to wrinkle, it's going to stretch. You can already see it start to do a little of that here and so forth. So you'll see some stretching in the arms, the tops of the tops of the shoulders, around the torso of his waist, around where the joints are in the legs, and around his knees and so forth. It's unavoidable if you're going to use some sort of stance that's dynamic. So that's the downside to this figure. And it's always baffling when that happens. This is Hot Toys, this is not their first rodeo. But at least you can move him. That's a plus. The problem is, over the course of time, the wrinkles are going to stay in this figure. But if you're not going to repose him, maybe that's not such a big deal. The outfit looks wonderful. Tom Holland's head on this outfit is wonderful. If you use the shorter spider web, it's not drooping. It doesn't look weak. It looks strong. So that's my solution there. Unfortunately, if you use the long one with the rounded spider web attached, it's so much weight at the end, it basically droops down. It doesn't look right. If it drooped up, I mean, not drooped up, but if it kind of angled up, if it had enough strength to angle up, that would actually look more realistic. But drooping down, no. So he looks great. So I think we should get him on a turn tray so we can see him from different directions. We'll be right back. I absolutely love this figure. I love the outfit the first time I saw it. I thought this was a great outfit. It doesn't clash with a multitude of colors. It's simplistic and it's dark with the darker hue of blue. The red just is vibrant as it pops out from this darker color. It's wonderfully done. The head sculpt is perfect. The webbing has some issues with drooping. There's no other way to say it. Yeah, if it's long enough and you put that rounded piece of webbing at the end, it will droop down instead of having the strength to kind of move, to have a little bend upwards, which would be more normal. So the only other option is to use these shorter pieces because they're stronger. So the bad thing is the wrinkling in the suit. Otherwise, if you're not wanting any wrinkling, you're stuck with the museum pose. But again, why would you do that to Spider-Man? He's all about movement. So anyway, it is good looking. I just wish they could figure out the outfit. The articulation is great. You can move them. But the outfit, over the course of time, I can see it will have problems. This is another thing. I could not keep this straight. It actually leaned forward when you put Spider-Man on it. So this is not as secure as it needs to be. And to compensate, I had to lean it back. But that's okay. Look at that outfit. Absolutely wonderful. And I don't know if our filter will catch it, but our cat is in the background making a lot of noise. Now he stopped. But anyway, Spider-Man. We'll pause now to get some really good close-ups from here on up. I can't say this enough, but this is a wonderful figure, wonderful head sculpt, a nice looking outfit. It's just going to wrinkle, unfortunately, in certain spots. And there's nothing you can do to stop that from happening. As long as you're okay with the pose and will never change it, it's probably not an issue, but you just wonder long term, is it going to be an issue? You don't know. It's probably not going to be, but it could be. Anyway, let's go around and see him so you can see more details. He is definitely stunning. That's all I can think of. He's good looking. So we'll pause now and get a tighter close-up of his face. We'll just go side to side. A little more here. And then we'll make our way to the other side. And there you go. Here's one last look at our man of the hour, Tom Holland, as Spider-Man. I hope you've liked what you've seen. This is from Far From Home. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day. We'll just go side to side. A little more here. And then we'll make our way to the other side. And there you go. Here's one last look at our man of the hour, Tom Holland, as Spider-Man. I hope you've liked what you've seen. This is from Far From Home. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.